Hi, everybody. Welcome to Mediation and Beyond's YouTube channel, where I am pleased to be joined by Chijioke Ibeku, all the way from Abuja, Nigeria. He's a lawyer, certified mediator, counselor, and author. He's also a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Auctioneers, a member of the Nigerian Bar Association, and an alumnus of St. Gregory's College and Abia State University. He's written and published books on mediation and property management. He has written a handbook on the contemporary facets of mediation and understanding the basic principles of property management. His hobbies are playing and watching football, listening to good gospel music, and playing table tennis. He's happily married and the father of 4 children. Why I wanted Chijioke on today was because he has a passion for peer mediation. And I'd love to hear what he's doing with that over in Nigeria. So Chijioke, so glad you could join me today.
Thank you so much, Colin, for having me. It's a great pleasure to be acquainted with you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm indeed very grateful. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So as I said, one of the things that I'm really honored to have you here today is because I do know you have such a passion for peer mediation. And I wanted to share your passion with others. I wanted to get that out there so that others can also hear about the work you're doing over in Nigeria with peer mediation. How did that become a passion of yours?
Just like you mentioned in your intro about writing and publishing a book on mediation, while I was writing that book, it dawned on me that it would not only be for adults to have the privilege of reading that book and be interested in practicing mediation, but I should also take into consideration children who, after we are long gone, will also show interest in knowing about mediation. And how will they know about what they don't really know about? So there and then, as I was writing the book on peer mediation, on mediation, I beg your pardon, I also decided to write one. In fact, it's in the offing. As I talk to you presently, I've done some chapters on it, and by God's grace, before the end of the year, I should have published that book on peer mediation. So to kind of cut the gap, I decided to take the bull by the horn in introducing that practice, which I must tell you is non-existent in Africa, and in fact, of course, particularly Nigeria. So this is one of the things that gave the push for me to bring into practice or into motion that program, peer mediation. And also I took into consideration the goings on in the world with regards to conflicts here and there, Africa in perspective. And I thought it wise to say, why not introduce this program in Nigeria and by extension, Africa? When these children get to know about this knowledge and they become adults, they'll be better equipped. In fact, they'll have more knowledge on how handling issues and preventing it from degenerating to disputes and furthermore to conflicts. And once you have these children garner this knowledge at this little age, plus or minus when they become adults, we are sure to some extent, at least to a greater extent, to have a peaceful world, at least to some extent.
Yeah,
so that is what gave rise to that passion.
I think it brings to mind, I used to be a teacher, and we have peer mediation. I taught middle school, 8th grade math for many years. And we have peer mediation in school, but then it kind of loses its flavor. It's not part of the curriculum. It's for teaching kids who need to have it, but who need to use it. But it doesn't teach everybody about mediation. And I think you make a really, really good point about leaving a legacy of teaching our youth at a younger age rather than teaching adults how to mediate. I think we do need that, obviously, to teach our youth, but it really is about leaving that legacy of mediation for our youth so that they can go out into the world and have it as a kind of lifestyle about how to resolve conflict. And I think what you're doing is taking it, especially in Nigeria, where you just said it's kind of not even in existence, right? Mediation, and putting it out there for the youth. So in the program you're starting, can you tell us how it works? I know from our conversations, I know a little bit about what you're doing, which is going into the schools. It's not, this isn't supported by the government or by the schools. This is you out of pocket, right? Going into the schools
Yes.
and doing it, right? And so you're using your monies to train people to go into the schools to teach students. Is that correct?
Yes, yes, yes. So basically, like I mentioned, maybe in the course of a discussion some time ago, because of the disconnect in the system, the tribal and religious conflicts in Nigeria, with perspective to Nigeria particularly, the more we pay attention to children garnering this knowledge, the better for us as a country, and of course, by extension, Africa.
Yes.
And like I told you initially, the governments that I live in the capital of Nigeria, they've approved some select schools. They have almost about 750 schools for me to teach the practice of peer mediation to them.
Okay.
And like I told you initially, all the government primary schools, even to the secondary schools, they've approved for me to take this knowledge to them. But like I said earlier, and like very well know, that I sponsor this program solely from my pocket. So I've decided to see how I can reduce it, at least to see how I can cater for some of the schools within my pocket, what I can cater for. So for instance, what it means basically, out of the 750 schools, I've decided to start with 30 schools, and 30 schools presents us with many students. But for instance, now some of the area councils have brought in their students. We teach, for every session we teach 20 students. For every session we have 20 students. And the over 6 counties or 6 local government areas, what you call counties in America. So for the 6 local government areas, I'm going to be teaching about 120 students. I have about 120 students to teach in 10 weeks, plus their coordinators, and plus other logistics, because I have to cater for this out of pocket to make sure that there's a provision for these people. And when the children come for this session, we have to make sure they feed, because unlike what you have in America, most of them might be hungry. If they're hungry, they will not be so tuned to want to listen to whatever you're talking about.
Yes.
They won't be tuned to listen to whatever you're talking about mediation. So I have to cater for their feeding. I have to also pay I also have to pay the coordinators who are from the government, who look after the children while I teach them. I also have to transport the children from their various schools to another location, a school environment. Another location, a school environment also. I have to pay their transport to that place, the car that brings them there. And if there is no light, peradventure, when I'm teaching, I have to also make available generating sets, a generator for power.
Wow.
I have to make a provision, a generator for power, to make sure that there is a light supply while I'm teaching them. Because while we teach them, we have our resource persons who are cut across the globe, who will also chip in 1 or 2 things about what they feel about peer mediation. The perspective will not only be from me, but from other resource persons across the globe, who will also come in with whatever views they have about peer mediation, to kind of broaden and give more flesh and make it more interesting for these children to listen to what mediation is all about.
And when you say come in, do you mean like on Zoom come in, or do you mean physically?
Yes, visually on Zoom. Yes, please. Yes, that's what I mean, Colin. Yes.
So for the kids that come in, I think you had said it's age ranges from 7 years old to 12 years old. Is that the age range?
Yes, 7 to 12.
And do you hope to do older children as well once you get up and running?
Why? Yes, like I told you, the government has approved even senior secondary school, what you call higher students, people who are older, maybe from 16 to 25, even up to the university level.
Okay.
So it's
approved through the government. It's a matter of getting the funding to be able to build up the program.
Yes.
Right. And so I can
Yes.
see some of the things that you need are some of the financials in terms of helping pay the coordinators, helping pay the transportation, helping pay some of the costs for snacks and feeding the kids, right? So they have something after school, generators to keeping some of the lights on, and transportation costs, things like that. So how would someone go about getting in touch with you so that someone listening to this, our conversation today, who's interested in supporting peer mediation for children so that they can then go on and grow up with this kind of peer mediation mentality and lifestyle, how could they get in touch with you, Chijioke, to be able to find out how to best support what you're doing and be able to facilitate some help in the way that somebody would be feeling that would be best for them to help you? So how could someone get in touch with you?
Thank you so much, Colin. I'm very visible on LinkedIn at Chijioke Nana.
Okay.
I'm very visible on LinkedIn at Chijioke Ibeku on LinkedIn, all the social media platforms, on Facebook, on my feed at Chijioke Ibeku Nana, Chijioke Ibeku Nana.
Okay.
On Instagram at Chijioke Nana, and on my page is Mediator in Action. That is at Niger Mediator. At Niger is NAIJA, the Mediator. At Niger Mediator. Once you click on that, I'm sure everything about what we've been doing humbly will show. I'm very visible on these platforms.
And your website, you have a website, Chijioke, that people can go and contact you as well?
Yeah, we have a blog, more like that serves like more like Mediator. A blog. We have a blog that's more like serves like a website. We do have a blog.
Okay. And could somebody email you as well?
Yes, you could. You can email me at chijioke@gmail.com.
Okay.
chijioke@gmail.com.
And I'm going to, because I know that for someone listening, some of the spelling they might not get correct, right? Just from your speaking. So I will make sure that your contact information is listed in the details of our conversation. And so anybody wanting to find Chijioke on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, at his blog, at his Gmail account, you're able to find that and be able to support Chijioke in his mediation, being able to bring mediation to primary students, or what we would say in the United States to elementary students over in Nigeria, would be really helpful. Or any ideas that you may want to share with him on things that he could be doing to help support, just to get in dialogue with him, to be able to support him in his efforts and endeavors to bring mediation to our youth, which is something that in the United States we try to do in our schools, and we are supported in doing that. That we also need to support our youth and people such as you, Chijioke, who want to bring it to the youth in other places in the world, because once we can get all our youth on par with mediation, gosh, we would have we'd be bringing a whole different history. We'd be recreating history where we have a more peaceful history that we could be looking forward to, right? Where we'd be settling conflicts in a much kinder, wiser way. And I think that's what you're envisioning, right?
Yes, very much, Colin. Thank you very much. That's actually my vision. You've just taken it out from my mouth. You just said you've just shared my mind, a piece of my mind. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So Chijioke, thank you so much for sharing what you're doing. Thank you for taking out of your own pocket to help the world in your part of the world, which then helps our part of the world and every other part of the world when you can help the youth. So thank you. And I hope those who are watching today take time out to contact Chijioke and support his vision. because when we help somebody else, we help ourselves as well. And so I will put all your contact information below. So take a few minutes and take time to write that down and get in touch with him. So Chijioke, thank you as always. We will be in touch, you know that. And thank you everybody for watching. And Chijioke, thank you for what you're doing, and God bless.
Thank you so much, Collins. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Have a great day. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.